a lot of times when I'm talking to couples and the husband will say, my wife is going to take care of me. Y'all, first of all, that is so selfish for a husband to say, my wife is going to take care of me. And then I look at him and I say, well, will your wife be able to pick you up? Can he, can your wife turn you over? Can your wife do all these things for you? And it's just a lot of people just automatically think that their spouse can do this. And people, caregivers do this out of love because they do love someone. They don't want to say it's a burden, but it really is. But you do it because you love that person. But what if you could plan early and not have to do that? I tell my daughters all the time, I pray to God that it doesn't happen to me, right? We want to die in our sleep. But I tell them, the reason I have long-term care is because if that happens to me, I want them to sit and hold my hand and rub my hand. And then they hire a professional person to come over and do those other things. And I did not realize this, but my cousin's son, a young man in his 30s, have traveled all over the world in the Navy and all this, but actually came home to help take care of his grandfather. And that was really something for that young man to do. But I just wouldn't want my grandchild to have that last thought of me. So while we're here and we're in our good mind, we want to do something about that and make some changes. So once you learn things, you do better, right?
Yeah, this is true. And it's a really sad statistic, but when a caregiver, like a husband that you mentioned, expects his wife to take care of him, sometimes you have to kind of mention that statistically, it's the caregiver who often finds themselves between 2 and 5 years
Mm.
not as healthy as they would have been. In other words, even if their life isn't shortened, their independence or their good health may very well be, because I see one of our remarks is that caregivers don't take care of
Mm.
themselves. Well, think about the sandwich generation. Think
Right.
about someone who is taking care of parents and taking care of children. I can't imagine having time
No.
or energy to
Mhm.
take care of yourself.
Right.
So I think I think Sandra and I both would agree it's complicated.